So today we continue our discussion on solution descriptions. A couple more ways we can describe solutions are acidic, basic, and neutral. And we're going to start with the word neutral. What exactly does that mean? When we think of neutral, we often think of the concept of water being neutral, and we talk about it having this pH of 7. Well, what exactly does that mean? Well, neutral water tells you with a pH of 7 that the amount of H pluses in the water equal the amount of OH minus ions in the water. Now together, H and OH make H2O. That's our water molecule. But in water, there's an even amount of H pluses and there's an even amount of OH minuses, and therefore we make water. That makes a solution neutral. If it is not neutral, then this equality is not present. They won't be the same amount of H's as OH's. And then we call it acidic or basic. If it's acidic, there are more H plus than OH minus in a solution. And we measure that using a term called pH, and mathematically that equals the negative log of the concentration of H plus, which when we get into a worksheet with that, I'll show you how to use that button on your calculator. So an acidic solution has a very low pH value, so it will end up down here on the scale with a low pH, but that means there's a lot of H's. So it's kind of a backwards concept, but low pH means very acidic, lots of H's. The basic side of the pH scale is over here. Sometimes we call it alkaline. Alkaline and base are the same thing. But what that means is that there are less H pluses than OH minus in the solution. You have a high pH value, and you can measure that using this mathematical equation, which we'll use later on when we get to that worksheet. So this end is a high pH, but keep in mind a high pH means it is basic. It is high pH, lots of OH in there. The scale says it's basic. So that's what our acidic basic means, and we use that pH scale to measure it. When you have an acid or a base and you want to get rid of it, meaning you want to neutralize it, we do that through a process called titration. So neutralizing means even the H pluses and make them equal to the amount of OH. How do we do this is a titration by dripping base into the acid. So we're going to keep dripping base into the acid until we get to this even point where the H is equal to the OH's, and then we have it neutralized. This is one of our activities as far as a lab. Just want to describe what's going on here. Here we have a solution. We add a little bit of water to it, and this becomes our acidic solution right here. So we have an acidic solution. We are going to drip our base into that acidic solution until we reach the neutralization point when the H pluses equal the OH. The problem is, how do I know that's going to happen? When do I know that's going to happen? What point does that happen? I can't tell with my naked eye. So instead, I do a color change using an indicator. An indicator is going to be added to the solution. And when the indicator is added, what does it indicate? It will change color at a specific pH value. So if I pick an indicator that changes at a pH of 7, which is neutral, then as soon as I put a drop in here and neutralize all the acid and base, the solution will turn to a pink color. So that's the purpose of an indicator. You'll see that in lab in action. So what's today's activities? 3 stations again. First station, you're going to use these different types of indicators that will change at different color points, different pH values. Those colors will change, and you'll see whether things are acidic or basic. In number 2, you're going to learn about the concept of a buffer. Okay, a buffer is hugely important in daily living and in industrial applications. And then the third station, you will perform that titration that I showed you on the prior page, where we drip the solution in and reach a pH of 7. Remember, that means when all the H's have been neutralized with all the other OH minuses. And what does that make? That makes water, and that gives us a pH of 7. So that's what that neutralization means. That's the concept today. What does it mean to neutralize? And that's it right there. Make water out of my acids and base. So go learn and enjoy.